breaking news right now. An investigation is underway into a deadly shooting that happened in Miami, and that's where we find Local 10's Syra Onward with the latest details. What are we seeing at the scene, Syra?
So, JC, some of the crime scene units have left the scene, but you can see there are still police officers on the scene here, though the shooting happened around 1 a.m. That's when officers arrived and found a man had been shot and killed. It all happened here on Northwest 2nd Avenue and 67th Street. Let's take you to video now so you can get a closer look at what we were looking at. Yellow evidence markers on the street, likely covering bullet shell casings. Crime scene investigations unit vehicle was also here along with around 10 police cars. A bicycle was also removed from the scene here after a crime scene investigators took photos of that bike. There was also a pair of shoes on the street here, so all those elements that tied in to this investigation.
Oh man, hope it's not the ghetto. A lot of drugs. This is pretty bad news, you know. Undesirable neighborhood. Could do without this.
Also, who the shooter could be, if they have anyone in custody or anyone of suspicion, a person of interest.
Hello, Grizzlies. My name is Whisky Wolf. I served 17 years as an elite Royal Marines commando. I'm a best-selling author of 4 books. I've led men into war 4 times, jumped out of planes, escaped a kidnapped attempt in Iraq, and got all sports shorts banned from the DVLA. I'm a survival expert in the Arctic, jungle, and desert. I've travelled the world lone wolf, lived homeless in the UK and the notorious migrant camp in Calais, France. I then crossed the English Channel in a 9-foot dinghy, unsupported, undetected at night. I am founder and pioneer of Tramp Face, Salute Charity, and my small business that I dragged through the disaster of COVID. My wolf pack is made up of my half-Welsh, half-American daughter, my Hungarian Vizsla puppy, and our friends, the Grizzlies. That's you. Together, we are gonna wolf the world. Because...
If you're gonna be a bear, you may as well be a grizzly.
Hola, Grizzlies. Whisky Wolf here. I'm talking Spanish/Portuguese again. I'm off to Miami, Florida, USA. Now, it's been a pretty disastrous week in life of Whisky Wolf back here in Swansea. Got back from Brazil. First full day back, we had a flood in the bar down at Copper. Someone left the taps running in the toilets, flooded the hool downstairs, so I had to go back down that night. A bit of disaster recovery. The glass washer, that broke. The pump's gone on that. And one of the macerator toilet pumps has also broke as well. Altogether, that's coming in at over £2,000. Nice welcome home for me on just infrastructure. So it's not buying stock or investing in something, just something that we already had there, broken. The council taking me to court in my absence while I was in Brazil for not paying into their absolute racket of a system they've got going. So that happened when I was away. The coffee machine went today, so somebody sent us some sample beans, coffee beans for the machine. Thought I'd trial them today before going away. I should have known better because I put them through. It didn't agree with the machine. It clogged it up, so that bogged me down there for a couple of hours this afternoon before having to come back and get ready for going away. Adding to the woes, I got home, ceiling in my walk-in wardrobe storeroom. It was marketed as a nursery when I bought the house. Not going to use it for that. So it's like a room on the side of the main bedroom for all my military kit and stuff. The ceiling's decided to collapse in on that. There's obviously a leak in the roof. Water's been coming through. Pretty bad weather. Given way, collapsed and damaged all that ceiling. So that is absolutely brilliant news to come home to a few hours before setting off for my next trip. However, we're going to take the positives as usual. We are going away USA tomorrow. I'm off to Miami. Now, this is funny because if you're following any of these videos in order, you will come across my last trip, which is in Brazil. And I described it, some people call it the Miami of South America. And in that, I sort of say never really been keen on Miami. It's been described as the Miami of South America. Not too sure how I feel about that. Miami wouldn't be coming in my top 20. I'll end up going there at some point in my life now and go, wow, this was amazing. Why have it taken so long to go here? But it's not on top of my hit list. And lo and behold, the next destination I'm going to is Miami. Now, believe me, honestly, this is not some kind of setup where I purposely said that and the next thing you know, I'm going to Miami. Honestly, I'll show you the history of booking things. It's come about because it's funny. It's a funny coincidence. Got back from Brazil, right? I've had a guts full of all the dramas at the business and I was looking at trying to get out to see my daughter anyway, in between the trip next month, which is Thailand for a wedding. I've done the route a few times. She lives in a place called Valdosta, Georgia. She's only 9, little M, but I've been out there a couple of times since they moved down from Virginia Beach. So I've done that route with Atlanta a couple of times. I got flexibility. I'm the boss of my business. I've got flexibility to change my days. I don't work a 9 to 5. I get 2 weeks off and I've got to fly on that day to make the most of it. So I put in the whole month, flights from London to USA. And if you do that on Skyscanner, websites like that, it'll just give you options of cheap flights, show you what's out there. And the first one came out was Miami, £152. Like, this can't be right. One way, because I wanted to work out a different way back, get a bit of an adventure out of it, and of course I got to move on to Georgia, so I don't really go back to Miami to fly home. So one way was £152. I think it must be a budget airline, Norse Airlines they're called. I know a lot of them, sometimes they want to promote themselves on these routes, transatlantic routes. When I looked at the price of the day after, it's like 400 quid. So it isn't just they're always cheap. On a couple of select dates, they were £152. Well, looks like I'm going to Miami for an adventure then. So I had a quick look, right, well, how am I going to get to Georgia and how am I going to get back? And found another flight returning from New York 3 weeks later, £76. Don't need to say any more about that. Book. I am impulsive enough to go, well, there's 2 decent ones there and back. I'll work out the in-betweens when I get out there. Turns out I only booked the accommodation for Miami for a couple of nights yesterday. So it was literally, I'll just work it out as I'm going. Miami for a couple of days. Yeah, bit of lone wolfing, hire a bike. There's no plan. I've booked the accommodation. I'm just going to get there, get a bike and just see what you can do in a day and a half or 2 nights in Miami. So I'm not even going hand luggage. I'm going personal item, which is a laptop bag. Well, I got it here, packed. That is it. That is my bad boy. Good to go. And that's just a couple of t-shirts, a couple of pairs of shorts, a couple of pairs of socks, toiletries, MacBook Air, and all my sort of electronics chargers and stuff like that. And that's it, good to go. I'm in a stinking mood, believe it or not. Since I got back from Brazil, it's just been disaster, dragging me down. But I've put the graft in. I've been 14 hours at the bar every day, making sure everything's done. I've been painting, I've been fixing. I've done a shift on the bar as well because we were short on one day. And I've been doing the morning shift. I go in anyway and open up and do a couple of hours in the morning before the guys come in at midday so they can have a lie in. When you get on that plane, you're, well, at least I've earned it. Stay grizzly, wait for the updates. Welcome to Miami. Immigration was an absolute nightmare, as is usual with the USA. It's never been anywhere like it. Well over an hour there. But on the plus side, managing my time with a bit of concurrent activity. Big thing in the Marines that. Got the phone out, got Google Maps out, because I'm a map geek. And I like to leave things to the last minute. Started to get my bearings and try and put a quick plan together because I didn't have one at that point. Got accommodation booked. Found a new thing to occupy me on flights now. I usually just get the laptop out, do a bit of writing, do a bit of reading. I've signed up to YouTube Premium now, which is brilliant. I don't know why I haven't done it before. So you get to download the videos beforehand and then you can watch them offline. And of course then a bit of research on where I'm going, Miami. And then throwing a bit of Ricky Gervais in and history on the Falklands War, because that's what I'm into. And that worked really well, and that occupied me for the whole 9 hours. Most of the travel videos, they're hitting your same, your cliche, traditional tourist spots, do this, do that, and you watch each one and they're all the same, and they've all got the same theme and format to them, to be honest, which is great, because then you do get, all right, well, they keep repeating these places. These are the places that you should go and see when you get here. But I don't like to just stick to them. It's good to get a feel of the ground on them and work out your own plan as well. So while I was waiting, I had a quick look, found out where my accommodation was in relation to the airport. It's not worth going to Miami Beach tonight. Tonight, said long flight. So I'm thinking, well, what else can I do just for tonight to hit off on the list of things that I was looking at? Little Havana conveniently popped up in that space between the airport and my accommodation. So I thought, perfect. It's on all the lists that you got to do. That's what I am now. An Uber taxi was like $20 odd. And I don't want to do it because I can't spare $20 odd. It's easy, boring, safe option. Let's get on the buses. Let's have a little look around the lay of the land. It adds to the adventure. Got on the first bus, pretty standard, it's a bus. And then the second one was brilliant. I got off, I had to change. It was like orange and green, came around the corner like an old-fashioned trolley bus. Got on there like wood, arch windows. It's got those wire cords that you pull when you tell a driver you want to stop. That's exactly why you shouldn't just jump in an Uber. You get to see this, and I didn't even pay. I got my wallet out. The driver wasn't even interested, and nobody else was paying, so I just got on it. So happy days, free bus ride on a traditional old-fashioned trolley bus. One place is always on all the tourist things as well is Domino Park. A lot of old guys sit and play dominoes. And all right, yeah, it's interesting. It's part of the culture here. A lot of the travel guides, they're like raving about it as if it's a magnificent experience or like wonder of the world. And I don't know if I'm just coming across as a bit joyless or whatever, but it's just some old guys playing dominoes. I don't really see what the fuss is. Yeah.
Video now of a deadly shooting that was caught on camera, and we have to warn you, you may find this one pretty disturbing.
That shooting happening last night in Miami's Little Haiti neighborhood.
Father of this 33-year-old man who was killed are understandably very upset.
An ambush in Little Haiti caught on camera. You see a white Suburban pull up. The driver immediately starts shooting. He isn't the only one in the car. Several others get out and unload. The blurred body you see is Carrie Jacques, who was left in the street to die.
I'm a little bit concerned. I jumped in the Uber. Guy saw the address and he was like, "Oh man, I hope it's not the Ghetto." Yeah. So I said, "Well, is it?" He said, "It's not somewhere I'd go at night. It's not somewhere I'd hang around. A lot of drugs and people hanging around the street corners. So not what I wanted to hear, to be honest with you."
An ambush in Little Haiti caught on camera. You see a white Suburban pull up. The driver
Turned up. Can't get hold of anybody. Not exactly sure where the house is, the accommodation, but we'll have a look. This is pretty bad news. Been on a wild goose chase, been in 2 different Ubers, still in the wrong place. I'm now walking through, looks like a quite undesirable neighbourhood, to try and get to where I think it should be. So, yeah, bit of a screw up all around, but a bit tired as well. Could do without this. Hopefully I get there pretty soon. Stay grizzly. Bit of a howler last night with the accommodation. Wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be. So after my little walk round Little Havana, I went to Windward Walls, just have a look at the art graffiti around there. Wasn't really much option for getting to the accommodation other than an Uber. It was dark, it's getting late. Got the Uber, which took me to the wrong place. I think it was my fault, putting the wrong address. The Uber driver gave me cause for concern because they were like, "We're heading to like the Ghetto area. I hope it's not a bad one. Would you be able to tell me, seeing as you live here?" And then they wouldn't drop me to the exact spot, drop me a few blocks away because they didn't want to go to it. So that was very disconcerting.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was really, really, really bad.
How bad?
How bad? Shooting every day.
Shootings every day.
Yeah. Like a war zone.
Yeah, to watch myself then. Quickly realised, so it's quite north of the main area of Miami, the Ghettos, as it turned out. And yeah, I got out, quickly realised it was a black neighbourhood, which had some great points, of course. I very much doubt your average tourist sees this part of Miami off the beaten track up north. And it's a bit like the movies then, isn't it? Like Boys in the Hood, one of my favourites from when I was a youngster, seeing all the little houses like that. But also there's a downside to it. It's dark, unfamiliar neighbourhood, and I'd imagine they don't get many pasty Welshmen walking around. There's a few gangs of guys sort of in cars shouting. I had to stay grizzly and get through it. Rung the guy for the accommodation, got a bead on it, and I made my way towards it. Then also turned out that the private room that I thought I booked wasn't a private room. It's a house. It was a shared room. So I was told there's a girl in there sharing me with a bunk. I used the term bunk in the loosest of terms. Well, no, it was a bunk. I used the term bed in the loosest of terms because the bottom bit that I was on was just a frame of a bed on the floor with a mattress on top of it. It's not great. I slept in worse places, obviously in the Marines, outside of the Marines when I'm travelling and adventures, but getting a bit older, I like my comfort, and I had to suck it up really. I'd have probably made more of a meal of it, being it was late, I was tired, wasn't really in the mood for it, than it actually was, because I've had a good sleep now, and got on with it, and things don't seem too bad. Come the morning light, and have a good day in Miami, get out on the bike. But also the biggest drama is, in my defence, I've got my MacBook with me here, all my electronics, $2,000 in cash. I thought I had a private room. Big saying in Royal Marines was, one of our big sayings, never separate yourself from your kit. And that's not because the area I'm staying in or anything like that at all. It's a shared room in an unfamiliar house. It's not travelling or holidaying or lodge or something like that. It's a private residence, and it's just really not worth the risk me losing my MacBook, all my money and my passport. So I've had to bring my laptop bag with me, which is not ideal because I want to hire a bike today, and I've done that before with this bag. It's just a bit of a ball ache. It doesn't sit right on you. You're constantly shuffling it around. It's awkward. I'm gonna have to suck it up because I can't take the risk of leaving all my gear in a shared room. Yeah, so off to get a bus now. No Ubers when daylight, adventure time, about an hour. That's how far away I am from the actual tourist area of Miami. Get down to the beach area, hire a bike, get some breakfast, and then go exploring one of the keys. Got up pretty early. I mean, 7 o'clock. It's not super early, but early, I guess, when you've been traveling all day. I had a good night's sleep. Girl was playing cartoons or something loudly on her phone in the bunk above, which wasn't ideal. And it's fine because I wasn't hanging around anyway. Got up, quick shower, got a foot mobile, ready for a day of adventure in Miami. So this is the type of area, neighbourhood I'm in.
Any driver, you have a bicycle there.
Looking straight in front of me, slammed on the anchors, obviously shouted something at him, too late, boom, knocked him off his moped. He snakes around, just had a close encounter with one.
I've made it back alive. Happy days. It's another horror story from another Uber driver about the area. Shootings every day. That got a bit better, thankfully.
6 a.m. start, nothing too drastic. Out the door by 10 past, slick drills. Uber ordered, about 10 minutes to the airport then. About $18, so it's not too bad. It's about 30 odd, I think, when I priced it up on the way out. Pretty quick, slick drills. The cockerel's up and about early today. Early cockerel catches the worm, or whatever they eat, grain. And then off to change in Atlanta. Yeah, it's only about 40 minutes, I think, from Atlanta back south, the way I've come, to Valdosta and get to see my little bababoo, M. So, very excited about that. It's been a good trip, Miami. Enjoyed it. Short, sharp. Getting that bike just allowed me to just see so much. Get out to the quay as well, and then back to the beach area, see all that. So even though it was seen Little Havana on the first night, Windward Walls, so a very productive little trip. Little buddies over here, look. Let's come with me to Ghetto, I think.